Ever since Wolfgang Halbig started the gambit of attempting to prove that Sandy Hook could not possibly be open, or shouldn't have been open, or ought not to have been open, or whatever, he's looked for every single weasel excuse possible, because saying Sandy Hook was closed, nobody died, is basically his t-shirt and bumper sticker. Anyway, this huge sinkhole named Wolfgang Halbig decided to go looking for any evidence to prove his point, ignoring mountains of evidence that say Sandy Hook was open. So what did he do this time? Now, spin wheel, insert bizarre reference point. So let's start it up. I was going to wait, officially, I was going to wait until somebody pointed out that the previous Sandy Hook truther simply misspelled the name of what the assertion is. And unfortunately, I'm sad that I did that, because I did not have the ability to grab all the data from where the safe place that Wolfgang Halbig put it. Twitter. God, that's brilliant. He claims to have gotten doc files, actual real files, that would have metadata and revision history, and when we could print them out and leaf through them because it wouldn't be just one page. He's never provided any of that shit, and he claims that this is publicly available data. He provides screenshots that are... I'll just go into that in a minute. Here we go. His versions of his files exist nowhere else but him, and he won't provide them, because that's what he does. It's one of his standard behaviors. Oh, he's open, and no, he isn't. He won't share anything unless it's a true believer, and he, in some cases, have gotten gag orders against people, right? Maybe not. It's implied that the people he got it from gave out the account information by giving them documents that were found within the system, which would mean the company would be liable for literally just violating privacy and maybe even credit card laws. And the claim was that the kids, or the school that was sent food by the companies, was actually Chalk Hill. But Chalk Hill was in the same condition Wolfgang claimed Sandy Hook was in. In fact, Sandy Hook was in really good condition, was easily occupied, but Chalk Hill was not a place that you would send little kids, like grade school or kindergarten kids to. So anyway, Sandy Hook students were only moved to Chalk Hill January of 2013. There weren't very many students there. I think there was a class listed. The minutes of various city council or whatever meetings indicate strongly that Chalk Hill was not really being used for much. It was a backup location, and it had a bunch of problems, and there's quotes of it costing a lot of money to upgrade it and fix it. And if you look at something simple like the Google aerial views, it shows that it wasn't being used as a grade school because it was missing most of the accoutrement, including play areas and that sort of thing for recess. Unless they were all Mensa Society kids or whatever. The next thing is that after 2013, you can see that the place was upgraded to be a grade school. Meanwhile, Sandy Hook was already a grade school, but after the shooting, it was devoid and actually abandoned after the shooting, not before. Now, I'm not saying that this is Wolfgang Halbig projecting. Yes, I am. So anyway, let's get on with it. A private company named Chartwell's has been mentioned in other forums, people doing the same kind of investigation, who do in fact believe the same thing Wolfgang does, as being the ones who actually did the service program at Sandy Hook. So I'm going to be looking that up to see if I can confirm it. This is a stage 0 stub for this video. So I'm going to get to his assertions, but I'm going to bring up what other people have found. I'm not going to repeat other people's work, but it's very scant here. A company named SYSCO, Connecticut LLC, which means there could be ones in every state, was awarded a food supply contract by the Connecticut state itself in 2010, and it would expire later on in 2019. It's a long-term contract. And 2016, Dean Foods did use a program under Oracle, or from Oracle, called J.D. Edwards ERP, and another program, or the same program, or a subset, called LANSA, not LANSA, systems. And it used old-style legacy DOS prompt screen that pops up, and that would have green characters and red characters and whatever. It was a teletype terminal program. The idea is it would communicate, well, I'll tell you what it is, it's terminal services with some computer anywhere. It could be anywhere on the planet for your database. That way you could have a terminal here doing stuff. That company is supposed to be Dean Foods, and there's also another company called SYSCO, and again, on the other company is named Chartwell's. And those are the three companies we're going to have to look up to find out who really was supplying lunch menu stuff for Sandy Hook. Because if you claim that Dean Foods or SYSCO or whatever was only delivering to a completely different location, then maybe somebody else was supplying food to the school. Anyway, what are the actual 2018 food service invoice docs that are presented by Wolfgang Halbig? They're screenshots. He's supposed to have gotten access to documents, or did he get access to screenshots? Also, the emails he showed on a screen in a video, I can't find the other videos. There may only been one, but I only found one. Maybe he had to edit it. Only show him showing screenshots. I don't see anything else. They're just literally pictures, which means they're incredibly easy to phony up. And they consist of an Excel spreadsheet, which shows that someone did not know how to fill out a spreadsheet, so it wasn't a working Excel spreadsheet. It shows little error triangles that say you made a mistake here, you have to fix it or the Excel spreadsheet won't work. So if it was a completed Excel spreadsheet doc, which is essentially a piece of software that will let you change things here and do math routines, under the math box it said there was an error. You'd have to change it from being a mathematics program or a formula to a data entry. That's a very basic error that Wolfgang would totally make, or somebody else, but anyway. He screenshotted that. Not providing the files. There aren't any publicly available docs, no matter what people say. So let's go on to the next part. These legacy green screen character teletype and terminal service screenshots existed also with something under Compass Customer Records program. Now, on one of the screenshots somebody grabbed, well, it was still up and may still be up, and apparently he had these images also on his Twitter, but the Twitter's been deleted because Twitter deleted his stuff, so we don't have it anymore. On this very important smoking gun proof that he was so lackadaisical and blasé about, one of the screens showed that the file had been edited recently to change specifically the address of Sandy Hook, which means on the day he got it, which was way after the shooting obviously, it showed that it had been edited. So he got a file, put it up on the screen, did a video, and didn't notice on the right side it tattling on him and saying, this file was edited after the fact to have the address. It specifically said, change the address for Sandy Hook to apparently Chalk Hill School. That's a little interesting. He did not emphasize added that. And every website that showed it kind of ignored that little screen. And most of them now only provide low-resolution images. And Google, in all of its infinite wisdom, as soon as the Twitter page is gone, won't give you a high-resolution thumbnail. They'll only give you the low-res one, which is totally worthless. So I'm working off of screenshots, but then again, that's all he provided, isn't it? And again, he's supposed to be a crack investigator, or an investigator on crack, but he doesn't provide the actual evidence. He only provides photos of it. That's like saying that you support the Constitution, but all you do is take a photo of it and it's blurry. I also like to point out that these supposed screenshots show color rainbowing on green, which shouldn't be able to happen unless you really went out of your way to compress the crap out of it to lower the quality of the images. Okay, now that I've explained what you would find if you do this, I'm going to explain the assertions. Now, they kind of make sense in a way, and that's good, but what I'm asking for is really simple at the 9-minute mark. I want all Sandy Hook truthers to provide me with the documents or the screenshots by actually acknowledging that they were documents or screenshots. If they're documents, give them to me. If all you got is screenshots, he never had documents. That's it. And it doesn't matter that Twitter went out of their way to erase this. If this was so damned important, he got it in an email, why didn't he save it? Okay, and no, I don't have to be part of your cult to get evidence. The point of evidence is, it shouldn't depend on someone believing you first to be convinced. Chalk Hill, Newtown, Connecticut, school lunch, SYSCO, trucking company, Wolfgang Halbig, the smoking gun. That's a blank. In 2018, Wolfgang Halbig claimed he contacted SYSCO and was given Sandy Hook invoices from 2012, September 1st, forward to December 13th or something like that in 2012. And then it goes on to say SYSCO or Dean Foods delivered to Sandy Hook Elementary School, but instead of there, they redirected to 375 Fan Hill Road, the old Chalk Hill School, instead of number 12 Dickinson Drive. But again, the document he showed, not a document, it's a screenshot, showed that address was changed long after they'd actually moved to the Chalk Hill location, apparently. Or did they? I mean, I don't know what happened. Do you? But where's the documents? He and or his fans then claim all documents are a matter of public record. That's a lie. The public records concerning whether or not Sandy Hook was open are available, and they show that it was open. Not that it was closed, but again, we've made this meme, so we have to look for every scrap of evidence, or fake it if you want, fake it till you make it, to prove that it was closed. Instead of just dropping the idea and just deciding something else happened. I mean, literally, this is a gish gallop right out of a textbook. You make an assertion it was never open, nobody was alive, every single claim you make is fantastical and requires somebody to debunk it, so that you never have to be wrong. Because you can always fall back on something that was debunked more than a year ago, hoping no one will notice. By the way, this was debunked more than a year ago. It was debunked the day that it came out. Links below in the description. Workers, apparently, at SYSCO Foods and Garilicki Milk, that was later owned by Dean Foods, have provided Wolfgang Halbig with certified copies of documents, but he won't supply them. And how did he certify a digital document? Was this on paper? These are screenshots of a computer screen. Were they paper? Is it somebody taking a photo with a camera? How is it certified? How do you certify certified mail? Certified email? So anyway, these supposedly certified copies of documents from their corporations were given to him from a company that can sue them for giving out information without permission, depending on what's going on. This is a private company. It's not a public company that you could grab data from, so how is this public records? Why is this claim being made? Well, it's public knowledge. No, it's not. And everybody just points me to one of the copies of the video that's even been more compressed. So let's go on. And they allowed him to record the fact that they were sharing this information, so if it was going to go to trial, they'd testify on his behalf. Well, isn't that a superhuman assertion about a company that would be suffering a liability lawsuit immediately for giving out information? Because if he got the documents, which is his claim, that means that he got a hold of credit card data and other data that is not relevant. Or did they cut and paste pieces of it? Or did they send him screenshots? What is it? Are they documents, screenshots, or none of the above? Again, he shouldn't be storing things as a backup onto Twitter. And again, I am very upset with Twitter erasing his page. I don't like him. I don't want him to post fake stories like this. But erasing it didn't help anything. The company SYSCO delivers food to these schools, handed over their invoices for months prior to the shooting to basically an internet troll that harasses the parents and neighbors of somebody who died, saying the food was being redirected to Chalk Hill Middle School, 15 or 20 miles away, but that's actually another school district. And as there's no food or milk being delivered, because no food, no milk, no kids, that's my favorite meme of the day, so the school must have been empty instead of just having somebody else deliver food to it, or this being an edit that was done later on to redirect all Sandy Hook student activity food deliveries to another location, which it showed on the screen. But he's got invoices to prove it, and these are public record, but they're not anywhere. He didn't provide the files. He only provided screenshots. No one's ever asserted that he gave them... What kind of file format? Remember, this is a Excel spreadsheet, right? And the other files, how do you do a file from a text data file with colors? Do you know how to grab a TTY file and make a file out of it, a document? There's an actual method for doing that, by the way. It's an actual file format. You have to guess which one it is or look it up. Most of you guys are too lazy to do it. And as for Compass customer records, what is their file format when they save a file? How did he open it? Was he running the software? When he was doing a TTY terminal, was he opening it using terminal services? How did he do it? How did he do the screenshot of a data file? And why was he using Excel spreadsheets that had math errors in the math processing set instead of admitting that he faked it? Give me the links or it didn't happen. Thanks for watching.